My name is Neil Stanners. I'm an author. And yes, in the great tradition of online chats, I'm sitting in front of one of my bookcases. A cliche, I know, but hey, this segment is about books. This is the first of what I hope will be a series of appearances in order to present my work, explain a little about myself and the sort of books I write, and tell you how you can listen to readings of some of the opening pages. Obviously, there's an agenda here. I'm not published by one of the big publishing houses, so I don't get the mass market boost in publicity that goes with any of their products. When you're published by a little guy, you have to do your own flag waving. I said in one of my blogs, it's a bit like being a little fish in a huge ocean bait ball. You can frantically wave your fin, but will anybody see you? If you get to know me, you may want to read my books, tell your friends, perhaps write some nice reviews, and thus greatly increase the chances that I'll become a more familiar face in the fickle world of literature. One thing I learnt quite early, even if people like what you do, it's very hard to get noticed. If I ever feel I'm getting too much publicity, I'll let you know. I live in Sydney, Australia, close to the coast. My background's in advertising, journalism, photography and cartooning. I tended for years to concentrate on those 4 areas of work while ignoring the itch I had to write. In the last 8 to 10 years I've addressed the balance. I write what could best be described as general fiction. It's not romance, crime, science fiction or any of the many other genres and sub-genres that seem to capture large parts of the publishing world. My books are about people, character-driven but not to the point of tedium. Feedback suggests that readers really like my characters and relate to them. They become real, just as they have for me. I enjoy feedback. It often gives you ideas and angles about your writing you haven't even noticed. Also, please note my characters are generally interesting and in interesting situations, so there's something happening. I try to avoid the French art cinema technique of endless discussions about life and what it all means. At the time of recording this video, I have 5 books published and a 6th not far off. Also, I've got a non-fiction work available, but I'll cover that in a later talk. My storylines are a mix of fiction, fact, and like all authors, a solid sprinkling of personal experience. There's a good amount of research involved in most of my work. I like to present readers with a solid base to start off. So now I've set the scene, let's get to the actual books. For the sake of simplicity, I'm going to present them in the order they appeared in print rather than based on the most popular or the biggest sellers. Today, just book number 1. Here it is, my first baby. It's called Somewhere Night Falls. It came about quite easily. I had a mass of fond memories of my childhood. Mine, plus others, and many just purely fiction. Or based on some past event. Something somebody said or did that somehow stuck in my memory for future retrieval. So what we have here is a series of short stories. They are set in order in different time periods from the 1940s to the present day. This is a book for adults who want to do a bit of nostalgic wandering. The stories could take place in most countries. Children don't vary greatly around the world. One reader suggested to me that these stories made them feel as if they were floating nearby, just observing and watching and the events unfold. I rather like that. The opening story from which the book takes its name concerns a 12-year-old boy who's living in a small town on the east coast of Australia. It is summer and summer school holidays, in fact. He's idling about finding things to do. It's 1943 and his father is away in the army fighting the Japanese in the South Pacific. He misses his father greatly and imagines him safe and well, because at any time, somewhere in the world, somewhere night falls. What happens after that? He and his friend Russell have a serious altercation with some local boys. Later on they decide to sneak away down the coast because there's a port where the Americans are bringing home wounded American and Australian troops. There's a chance the boy's father might be there. You'll have to read the rest and the other stories. Look, here's the back cover with the blurb on it. It'll give you an idea of what it's all about. So there you are, Somewhere Night Falls. You can ask for it at your local bookshop, or you can order it online at pretty much any of the online bookstores. The details are in the description below, along with my Facebook and blog addresses. Please tick subscribe if you want to stay in touch. I'd like to stay in touch. It's been a pleasure talking to you. I'll be back soon with the next book.